Back to another stream. Hopefully in this stream my mic sounds better. I hate Linux. I hate OBS. I hate open source software. Anyway, so in this stream, last stream I was fighting with Bun and Tauri and a couple other things, and in this stream I'm going to try to actually get Tauri working, and I'm going to set it up with Shadcn, and I'm going to do it with PNPM instead of Bun this time. This doesn't mean that I don't want to use Bun in the future, because I'd like to continue to use Bun. But I just had an issue with it with Shadcn, and I tested it out, and I figured out how to use it with PNPM. I don't know if it's just on Linux that I'm having the issue with Bun, but it's all right. It's fine. We're going to get it working with PNPM. Let me see here. Hopefully I'm live. Yeah, it looks like we are. All right. So, sorry. So, let me know if you guys can hear me. And if the mic sounds good this time around. If it doesn't, then we're just going to have to figure something else out. I guess this isn't my normal streaming time, so probably people wouldn't expect me to be here. All right, so I'm probably going to get started. Everything works? Okay, good. Thank you, Metal Maniac boy. That's good to hear. All right, so I'm going to get started here. What happened to last stream? Dude, what happened last stream, and again, this is why I hate software, but I specifically hate open source software, and even more specifically, I hate Linux, and I hate OBS, because the second that I hate microphones. But the second that I pulled OBS into my other screen, and I won't do it right now, like I will not pull OBS from my laptop screen onto my other monitor. The second I did that, everything froze up and crashed. And then I threw my mouse at the wall and I walked out of the room. Mic is fine. There we go. I'm glad that works. So, all right, let's get started here. So we're gonna make it look good. We're gonna have a little Tauri app, working. And we're going to make it work with Shadcn. We're going to install everything with PNPM. Now listen, I know there are other ways to make desktop apps. I know there are other ways to do UI inside of apps. And I know there are other ways to do all kinds of things. But this is the way we'll do it this time. But you're free to tell me in the chat your preferred way. And maybe I'll look into it in the future. So I already have PNPM installed. By the way, this is my new desktop rice. This is what we're going with now. So anyway, I have PNPM installed. So what we're going to do is we're just going to create a Tauri app, a Tauri app, and we're going to create it as an alpha version, because what I want to be able to do is eventually I would like to, whatever apps I'm creating locally on the desktop, I want to be able to create or I want to be able to easily make them into mobile apps. That's my thinking here. That should not have happened. I also use Pop! OS with OBS on the dual monitor. Well, of course it shouldn't have happened, but it did. Shadcn is great. You can build a decent UI without wasting too much time. That's the point. I mean, I'll say this too. If you're actually trying to make things as like a lone developer out there, right? Like, stop fighting. Like it's nice because Shad is my designer, right? Like, he designs all of my widgets and he designs all of that kind of stuff for me and makes it easy for me to use. So it's like I have a 10x engineer and I'm choosing not to use him for some reason. You know what I mean? Like, if I don't use Shadcn. There's also something, if you're familiar with Tailwind UI, Tailwind UI Catalyst. How do you spell Catalyst? This. No, like this. Like, they're making one There are other ones out there, but the only ones I would be interested in are Shadcn currently and Catalyst, because this is made by the actual Tailwind team, which is, you know, I mean, these guys have like a lot of good stuff, and they're also the creators of Headless UI. Anyway, so you know, in the future, I could see myself switching over to Catalyst, right? But the nice thing is that no matter what, either way, if I'm using Catalyst or if I'm using Shadcn, it's like, why wouldn't I lean on like having a design team for me? You know what I mean? And they're free and you know, so that I can actually implement the unique functionality that I want to implement. Anyway, so let's create this. We're going to create a Tauri app. The project name, we're just going to call this blog app for now. We're going to use TypeScript/JavaScript and not Rust for our front end, because I'm not a masochist. Choose your package manager. PNPM, not Bun this time. In the future, we'll go back to Bun. For now, PNPM. Choose your UI template. We're going to use React. I've heard good things about Solid. I've heard good things about Preact. But I always worry that these things are like the flavor of the week or the flavor of the month or the flavor of the year or something like this, where React has already seemed to kind of stand the test of time. And I'm not a masochist, so I'm not going to go with vanilla. Again, Svelte, I know people like Svelte. Vue has like... What happened? Hopefully that didn't go down for too long. I hate compute. I really, you know, one second. Give me a minute. Let me check. See what's going on. My channel. Don't you dare tell me that. Okay, good. I think we're good. It's still in like the same live. It better not drop again. My font. The font is Mona Lisa. It's back. Okay, yeah, it only went down for a little bit, so it's all the same thing. It seems like it's still the same video on YouTube, which is good. Otherwise, again, we're gonna throw everything and we're just gonna walk away. Anyway, I don't even want to accidentally click JavaScript. I know JavaScript, there's been this resurgence in like people wanting to write JavaScript because of JSDoc, but no, I'd rather actually have types and things, I think, for me personally, but that's just for me. Would you like to set up the project for mobile as well? We will, but I don't know if we're actually going to take a look at any of that stuff. Okay, so now we're going to cd blog app. Then we're going to do p and pmi. And I guess maybe we could like try out some of the Android stuff maybe later on. But I don't know. We'll see. One second, I'm getting my door knocked on. Okay. Alright, we're back. Hey, did you try Slint anyhow? My workplace uses it for cross-platform desktop app. Kentucky for Rust, C++ and JavaScript. This looks nice. So what does it do? GUIs for embedded and desktop? What's embedded? What are we considering to be embedded? Oh, like I can... Oh, like that's embedded. That's neat. For now, I think I'm going to stick with... Tauri. But in the future, I might try this out. Guy with glasses seems to like it. Alright, anyway. I will keep this in mind. Here, we'll star it. And we'll put it there. I'll take a look at it later. I'll sort it into a bucket later. But yeah, we'll try it out later. We'll see how this goes. If this continues to bother me, I'll look for other solutions. Okay, so we created it. Now we're going to do PMPMI. Bro, I love TypeScript, but having to declare types for React components is really boring. I don't think I declare types for React components. Like we make in store shopping experiences for touchscreens. Right. Like a kiosk kind of thing. It's neat. I actually kind of think it's cool. I actually just had some EV chargers pop up in the town that I live in. It was kind of weird seeing them. It's weird too because like the gas stations are all next to like convenience stores, and it seems like the EV pumps are at like Walmarts and like ShopRites and things like that. So anyway, all right, we created it. We CD'd into it. We ran the install. Now I could run Tauri dev and actually get it running, but we're going to skip that because that takes a minute to compile, and we're just going to skip right to installing Tailwind and getting Shadcn set up, and then we'll run it. So I'm going to do PNPM, add flag D, Tailwind, CSS, post CSS, and auto prefixer. This is just from their docs. This is just what you install when you're setting up Tailwind. And now I'm going to initialize Tailwind. You can write apps in Tauri without Rust too? Yeah. Yeah, you can. This month I made a wrapper for my Rust lib in Python, and I tried to declare only primitive types because Python is dumb. Again, I said this like last stream, I can't imagine using Python for anything right now. And unless I was trying to like quickly prototype something, or I don't know. I just don't know like what added benefit I'm gonna get. And like long term, like the typing in Python is just not there. So there's like, I don't know. There's like duck typing and things like that they have, but it just, yeah. It doesn't really speak to me. Okay, so now we're going to update our TS config. All right, and we're just going to jump to the bottom here, and we're going to add, I don't think this base URL is necessary, but we're just going to add it because they tell us to. I should also note, oh, let's put a little comma there. I should also note that you see like this little tilde here? I'm using the tilde because you know, a lot of packages are scoped under like at like the username or organization and then / the name of the package. And so like I never really know like if I'm importing something locally from my project sometimes, or if I'm importing something from like some package that's, you know, scoped under at something blah blah blah. It just seems to be like what people are using. So this is why I moved to tilde. So I hope like that becomes the standard in the future anyway. Hey Chris, how you doing? Did you manage to set up with Bun? Nope, we switched over to PNPM, at least for this stream. In the future, we may do Bun. Alright, so this is just showing you how that's supposed to look. And I explain why I'm using tilde. Update vite.config.ts. So let's hook it over to our vite.config ts. All we're really going to need to do is take this path here at the top and add that. Whoops. Let's do it like that, I guess. What's the problem here? What are we complaining about? Oh, that's what we're going to need to do first is we're going to need to PNPM add flag D for like a dev dependency. Then we're going to do types, node. That's valid. I don't like using tilde because my brain thinks of it as home. That's why I actually like using it, because I feel like it's like the home directory of my project. So that's why I actually like semantically it kind of works for me. Hi Chris, wanted to say thank you for your mvim config. No problem. My mvim config is the best mvim config, and it's better than everybody else's. So anyway, I'm only kidding. I'm sure everybody else's mvim config is just as good, and it's very nice. Is this the first time using Tauri? I've used it once before on something, just kind of like not taking it that seriously. But I'm gonna try to like actually take it seriously and understand it because I have some projects I want to build in it. It's better than TypeScript and JavaScript, but we're migrating to Rust. What's better? Python's better. Oh, we use MyPy and Pydantic. Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, my girlfriend uses that at her data science job. They use Pydantic for like types and things like this. I've used it once before when I created a fast API server, but I don't know. I guess I was somewhat underwhelmed, but then again, I was kind of more junior then, so maybe I was missing something. I made a repo with a small guide if you want to take a look at how to set up a button. I know how to set up a button. I have a guide on how to set up a button. The problem is that every single time I try and do it on this machine, I tried again, like following the exact steps I'm doing here. But on this machine, it gives me this weird standard I/O error issue. I don't know if it's a Linux problem or what, but yeah, like I have no idea what it is. Anyway, so next thing we're going to do is we're just going to take this resolve situation here, and we're going to add that. So we're going to resolve an alias to tilde, and it's going to resolve to path.resolve, directory name /source. So similar kind of thing. So we're just going to pop that under here, and we're going to put a little, we already got the comma there. So we can save that, and yeah, there we go. Machine specs? Yeah, sure, why not? These are the important questions. We got your Pop OS, and I'm not going to neo-fetch like a zoomer. This is how we show off the machine specs. We go into the About in the Settings menu. Okay? Anyway, so Pop OS, that's even, I guess, the device name as well. We got a Lemur Pro, 40 gigabytes of RAM, 11th gen Intel Core i7. Actually, this was, I think, the generation they introduced a better GPU, which is still garbage. Which I think is this. I have 500 gigabytes on this thing for the storage, but I'm not in love with that. I have another stick in there that's 1 terabyte. That's got a heavily riced Arch Linux set up on it, which I'll probably blow away and then end up using for this in the future. Anyway, we're on 22.04 LTS, a very old version of GNOME, not GNOME, and I'm using Wayland. And I think my firmware is up to date. Let's check. Yep, I think we're good to go there, which is nice. Oh no, it almost froze, but we stopped it. I think we're good. Let's see here. 40 gigabytes of RAM is necessary these days so that I can run modern web apps. I don't think apps belong on the web anymore, like for the most part. I don't think we really need that. I think we need to move to things like HTMX or Astro, just something like server rendered and MPAs and stuff, and then we just ban apps from like websites, and like you're just not allowed to do it anymore. Actually, maybe we should ban Astro and HTMX as well, and we should just have only allow just plain HTML and CSS for the web, and then we can all build better standards for actual desktop apps that don't depend on React or something like this. Anyway, yeah, this is the future I want to see. So PNPM DLX Shadcn UI at latest in it. So we're going to initialize Shadcn here now. $40 gigabytes is so random and wild. I mean, it was like not that more expensive to get it, and I was just like, whatever. Let me just future-proof my system here. And yeah, so we got the 40 gigs. Like if I, see if we pull something up here. HTOP. Yeah. Look, I'm already using like 7 gigs just streaming and like doing nothing. Like imagine when I really get going with my tabs. I mean, then we hit like 20-something gigs easy. Why, if the speed and bandwidth is getting better every day? Well, because we have to keep bloating the web so that we can keep selling more and more powerful computers and iPhones, or else the economy will crash. So you don't want to crash the economy, do you? Anyway, do you want to use TypeScript? Yes. No, yes. We're going to use default and not New York. We're going to use neutral. Where's my global CSS file? I would like that to be in source, styles, globals.css, because I'm used to Next.js. Would you like CSS? Yes. Are you? No. Where's right there? Configure the import alias? Yes. We're going to do that components like this. Configure the import alias for utils. Yep. Lib utils. Like this. New. Write configuration to components.json. Yes. And this time it should just work. If I was using bun right about now, I'd be getting some standard IO issue and everything would break. I was curious yesterday on Tauri Rust front end, but it's just web frameworks like Rust, like Vue and Leptos. Yeah, I don't know what those are, but I don't want to learn them. I love HTMX, building something with it as we speak. Cool. Yeah, I don't know much about like actually how to use it. I just know that it adds like more semantic like use cases for HTML that you would kind of expect to be there, but like aren't. I use 4 GB. You used a 4 GB machine until 2023. That's insane. Also, Chris, now that you mentioned apps not on the web, what was the whole attempt of Apple with the App Store? That was the whole attempt of Apple with the App Store. Nah, but they poisoned that. What is the primary stack you work with? Oh, I have no idea anymore. Whatever I just see on the internet that I want to use. Don't mean to be rude, but you pronounce Tarui instead of Tarui? I don't know what you mean. Cool specs. I remember some time ago you used to develop on an Apple machine. I still have an Apple machine. That was like a couple months ago. I still have it. I still use it. It's just that I don't stream from it. I want to stream from my Linux laptop. I want to promote Linux worldwide. Make sure you add this content section, tailwind, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, let's add this. Tailwind.config.js. And we don't need this nonsense. And we don't need this nonsense or that nonsense. Actually, we don't need any of that nonsense. I just needed to copy and paste this. What's the problem? What do we... Oh. There we go. Okay, now that we have everything set up, let's add some UI components. We're going to add a button here, and then we're going to start it up. Tarui, yeah. I don't know how else you want me to say it. So let's do, we already installed everything. So now what we can do is pm run Tarui dev. It's pronounced Tarui. Gotcha. Thanks. That's hilarious. Let me pull up my YouTube really quick. Oh no, I need it to not do that. Yeah. I got some comments here. I don't know. People always ask me about Windows. I have no answers for you. I don't use Windows. I think it's like multiple Tauruses, so Tarui. I don't know, man. Like the Pokemon? No. Is that what his name was? What's the one that was like looking like a bison or something? I guess it's like an astrological sign. Okay. Nah, there was one. I forget his name, though. I could have swore that was his name. Pokemon. While we wait for this to compile. Yeah. Oh, Tauros. Yeah. He was always kind of a boring Pokemon for me, to be honest. I guess he looks more legit here. Like Dark Tauros. This should be the mascot for Tarui. Punish Tauros. Anyway, this was a Pokemon I was always kind of bored. Wait, what? Oh, Blaze? What is this bullshit? I hate all this new Pokemon shit. Like, whatever this nonsense is. We gotta stop adding nonsense. He's a normal type. Just, like, get the hell out of here. There can't be female ones? Interesting. That's strange. I guess there's the milk tank. Milk tank or something? Yeah. Miltank. I guess that's the counterpart. Maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to make sense of this. Anyway, yeah, he always kind of bored me. I never really was like, I want to, like, you'd find him in the Safari Zone for, like, I don't know, they'd be, like, level 38 or something like that, and just, already, I didn't really want any Pokemon that were already, like, too highly leveled, like, to start off with. But, yeah, anyway, I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Right. Yeah, now it's making sense, right? Yeah, see, this one's 100% female. This is the milk cow, and then this is the wild bull. So I guess, yeah, it's alright. Everything still makes sense in Pokemon World. Like the name Tori, gotcha. Yeah, right. Now, Tauros. Maybe you say it like Tarui. Elmo Tauros. Emo Tauros. Yeah, that's what it was, right. How's it going, 32? Oh, here we go. We're finally done. Now, it doesn't take that long every single time we run it. But it does take that long the first time you run it. I feel like this is bothering me. Do you see this? Can I, like, somehow zoom in with this? No, I don't think I can. Anyway, if you click in here, you can kind of see. I don't know if you can see it, but, like, the text is shifted up. Like, my text is shifted upwards. And my cursor, ugh, that's not good. We're gonna have to. That's one of those problems where it's like, I'm gonna have to dig around in something somewhere to figure out what the hell's wrong there. That could just be my operating system, though. All right, so we got that now. Okay, so now we have to do some other nonsense to make sure that everything's good to go. So now we're going to go into the blog app here and open this up. And we're going to go to... so we'll take a look at styles just to make sure, okay, yeah, we got all of our styles here. So now what we're going to do is go to main.tsx. All right, and here we're going to get rid of this styles import. And we're going to do globals.css instead of that. And there we go. And now what we'll do is remove styles.css. We'll remove app.css and break everything probably. Or I guess not. And now that's all good and updated. Is there anything else we want to get rid of? I don't know what this vm.d.ts is, but, you know, whatever. Lib, yeah. Assets, blow that away. Don't want to do that. Don't want to have that there. Components. This is where your Shadcn components will be under UI, and he puts one util for merging class names here. So that's what that's for. How does this work? We have our main, yeah, and then we have this nonsense. So now we're going to get rid of this asset import. Then we're going to come down here. How's this different from Electron? It runs on Tau and Rye. So if you look up Tau, not JS, but it's, I don't know why I put JS. Tau and Rye. So yeah, Rye is a class it's a class platform WebView rendering library. The WebView requires a running event loop and blah 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 blah. Trying the Tauri GUI on Rust. Meet Rye. Yeah, so I think Tau is a thing too. I don't know what the hell Tau is. This is something. It's not that. I don't know what it is. I think that's how it gets its name. Let's see if we can read this article here. Short detour and try Rye. Let's see if we can click on Rye and just learn about it. So I don't have to read that. WebView rendering library. So cross-platform WebView rendering library in Rust that supports all major desktops, platforms like Windows, Mac OS, and Linux, and not BSD because no one knows about BSD and nobody cares about BSD, and you shouldn't be using BSD desktop. You shouldn't even be using Linux desktop. Rye connects the web engine on each platform and provides easy-to-use unified interface to render WebView. The WebView requires running an event loop and a window that implements has raw window handle or a GTK container widget if you need to support X11 and Wayland. You can use a windowing library like Tau. That's what it is. So Tau is the windowing library. I guess we don't use Winit in Tauri. The minimum example, and then you can learn through this shit. I'm assuming this is all abstracted from us and handled, we don't have to think about that. And you can probably do stuff in here that I don't know why I would ever need it personally, but, I would rather work with the abstraction, I guess. Let's see what we got here. Too many copyright strikes? Did I get copyright strikes? Oh, I had a problem recently. What I usually do is wrap in a flex and item center to fix it. Fair enough. What happened to the lo-fi music you used to play in your streams? That's a good point. I think there's one. Zap.stream. It's probably going to be loud when I play it. I don't hear it. Alright, wait a minute. The problem is that I don't have my headphones set up right now. So in the future, we might bring that back, but not today. Otherwise, it's just going to be like an echoey mess or something. I think Tau is like RPC, not exactly, but similar. Okay. Electron uses JavaScript as the back end. Tauri uses Rust. The difference is that Tauri is far better, uses far less resources, interops better with different front ends. Yeah, but you can see like the stuff it's using behind the scenes is like Rye and Tau, and not, like I guess like Chrome. I don't know much about how these things are handled, but that's my assumption is that Electron uses like a V8 Chrome instance as its backend. That's what I thought anyway. Where's your tiling window manager? Look, watch. Right there. So if I need to tile something, I'll do that. But if I don't, I won't. Also, I don't have time for tiling window managers right now. I signed back into my Arch Linux desktop and it was complaining at me, and then I was like, you know what? We're not friends anymore. I'm done with you. Anyway, so get out of here, this, and get this out of here. This form, all right, and let's make this nice and big so we can take a look at what we're doing here. So we got this app.tsx, which is going to be like your entry point. And let's take a look at, let's break down all the junk that was in here before. That's just basically just React and not important. So I deleted all that junk that we don't need to care about. Now I have, let's go from the top. We're importing useState from React, and then we're importing, blah. And then we're importing something from Tauri Apps API core called invoke. Okay, and invoke lets us invoke like essentially Rust functions inside of our front end. Right, so if we go to, like, all right, well, we'll get there. So we're gonna just, create our component here. We got const greet message, set greet message. That's just gonna be an empty string. And then we have a name as well. So now we have a function here called greet. And you can learn more about how this function is invoked and all that kind of good stuff here. So I can open that up. By the way, in NeoVim and Vim, you can press GX. You can open up links like that. So that's how I did that. Calling Rust from the front end. So you can read about this here. But I'm going to just take a look at the example that we have. So what we got is a wrapper function here, an asynchronous wrapper function here called greet. Because you're always going to have to await anytime you invoke the Rust backend. So now what we're going to do is we're going to set our state here inside of this function. We're going to await invoking a function named greet, which we reference here by a string, which, whatever. And then we pass it this name, which is some other piece of state here, right? Which we're going to set later on. This is just some basic React, and here's the greeting message. So to begin with, the greeting message, I don't know why I'm doing all that, but the greeting message is nothing. So there's nothing here, right? So we need a way to invoke that. So let's do that. Let's add a button. So we're gonna do a button like this and on click greet. So then we'll import it like that. There you go. So we got a button here, it's on click, and then it runs the greet function. All right, so now we'll just throw this over here. There's our button there, and we'll toss that over there. And what we'll do here just for a second is we're just gonna add a little padding, P. Let's do like padding like, I don't know, 8. There we go. So now if I press this greet button, what should happen is the greet message will show under it. But we're not setting the name. So whatever this function does, it's not going to have that name. So let's see if it can handle that. And it can. It says, hello, you've been greeted from Rust. Okay, great. So what we're going to do is we're going to go take a look at that function. So if we go to main, not main.tsx, main.rs. All right. And it's actually not in main.rs, it's in lib.rs here. Shut up, Rust Analyzer. So you can see that we have a function here, right? And we got ourselves a little format string here. I guess it's a little implicit return from this function. So what we have is these brackets let us know that we're going to do some, I guess, what is it called? String. Well, whatever. We're going to replace the brackets with this string variable here, right? And then we're going to return it. That's basically it. Whenever you do add one of these functions, you have to add it down here in this builder. So where is it? It's called greet. There you go. So we generate a handler for greet, right? So now we're writing a Rust function and we want to invoke it from the front end. I already showed you we can do that. So now let's actually pass it a value for name. So this will be, I guess, interpolated and it will go in there, right? So let's set that name. How are we going to do that? So we're going to need an input box. So let's add an input box. So we don't have an input box. So we're going to use Shadcn and we're going to do p npm dlx add. But instead of a button, we're going to do an input. And we're going to get a nice pre-styled input from Shadcn to make our life nice and easy. So now what we're going to do is we're going to say, all right, input. All right. And then we'll actually jump back here. I probably should have done that. What are we complaining about? What? Shut up. It'll probably work. So now what we're going to do is we're going to just say the value here is equal to name, and then on change set name. All right. Let's test this. Wow. You know what? You're right. It didn't work. Let me think about this a second. Why wouldn't that work? It is not assigned to type. Change event handler, blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. Well, I guess we could change it that way too, but whatever. I don't want to write a whole other function for this. Why can't I remember how to do like an input with React right now? Shut up, linter. It'll probably work. What was? I know. Yeah, it might be that. I hate like. All right, let's do on click. And then we'll whoops. Click. On clear. What is that? This is why I hate Copilot. There we go. And so now we'll do something maybe like e dot, or e maybe, or e dot target or something. Is it that maybe? Nope, not that one either. It might be value. There we go. But it's not actually being passed though, for some reason. Why can't I remember how to do this? I do this like every day. Let's go to I tried target.value. E.target.value. That's probably it. There we go. Yeah. There we go. All right. Stupid moment there. Anyway, so now you can see that it's being passed. So we got e.target.value, right? And now you can see ASDF is being passed there. So we'll do like Chris, greet, blah, blah, blah. All right, good. So, and don't blame me too much because I haven't done much web development throughout my career. So let's go up here. Now what we're gonna do, let me just pretty this up a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just put like a little div here to wrap this. And then we do class name, and then we're gonna do flex like this, okay. And then we're gonna say actually the max width is gonna be MD maybe. There we go. And then we'll put like a little gap x-1, and then we got that. And then we'll also do a gap -y -2 maybe. And then we probably actually need to do flex and flex col. All right. So this is what we got now. So if I change this to, I don't know, Tom, and it works, right? So you can see how we can invoke functions, but you know, it's not perfect. Like we have to like actually invoke them as strings or like reference them as strings. So that's not, you know, always ideal, but This is just, I guess, what you really have to deal with. Now, I guess that was kind of like all there really is to like starting it up and like getting started with like Shadcn and all that. Now I guess I'm just gonna have to actually work with this and get it working how I want it to work. So let me go see if there's any comments. People gonna bully me because I don't know how to use the input element. Can you change the background of the app? Yeah, probably. Yeah, this was close. Do I need to know types for this? I don't know. Suddenly that Rust front end sounds mighty nice, right? You can use ref instead of state in this scenario to prevent unnecessary renders. I need to get better at some hooks like that. Like, I need to understand when better to use, like, use ref and use state and all these kinds of things. I asked before, can you share the types from the backend process Rust with the JS front end? I don't think so. I don't think there's any way to get, like, good type safety there. So this is what we have to deal with, unfortunately. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull in a library where I can get some data, and then we're going to like grab that data and we're going to try to like show it, and we're going to try to create a blogging app. That's like what I want to do at the end of the day. But I want you to be able to read blogs from people, and I want you to be able to post blogs, but I don't want there to be any middleman server for the most part. And so for that, that's why I'm going to be using Nostr for this. And that's why I wrote like a little library for it as well. So if I go to React, Nostr, I guess, yeah, it doesn't really exist on the internet yet. So if I go to npm, this is my little hook library, React Nostr. All right. So what we're going to do is we're just going to install it like this. So we do pnpm add, and not that, no. Please, I hope it didn't add like npm add React Nostr. All right. So now if I go down to my package JSON, okay, we got that there. So what I should be able to do is use the hook here and grab some events and grab like some blog posts that we can see that already exist. So I want to do const, and I don't know what I'm going to be destructuring from this yet, but we're going to do use subscribe. Okay. And then from here, we need to pass it an event key and a filter. So I'm going to say const filter is equal to, and we're going to do kinds. Well, actually, let's type it. That way we get the stuff filter. Maybe I should also install pnpm add Nostr tools. We'll do import filter from Nostr tools. And let's just, because we're using this as a type. So now, yep, that works. And what we're going to want is, I think we need to pass it I'm not sure actually if we need to pass it a string. It should tell me. And we want this kind here. And let's see here. Have I tried Elm? No. Now, what else? We're going to set a limit to, we'll start with maybe 5. Put a comma. All right. So now our event key will be logs, and our filter will be that. But actually, we kind of pass this as an object. And then we'll say event key is that. And we'll say that filter is that. And what else do we need? Event key string, filter, filter, but required. Yeah. What's the problem here? Relays is missing. Okay. So now we'll do relays. And then we'll do, we gotta pass it something here. So WSS. We need some relay string. Let me go see if I can find one. Probably have one hard coded here. Components. No. Lib constants. Nope. Oh, you know what probably would be? Being here. Relays. Man, do I really set them somewhere? All right, fine. Let's go to Nostr, or we'll go to Resolver. This other app I'm working on. Jeez, this is slow. What's happening? Okay, source, Nostr query, and is there like a? I feel like I have like a store here somewhere for relays. There we go. All right, so now we'll grab this. Whoops. And this actually has to be an array. All right, so now we'll destructure from that events and loading. Okay. And now from the events that we get, let's just do, we'll remove this for now. And I'm gonna do, what's the problem here? Okay. And now what I'm gonna do is, we'll do something like UL, and we'll do events dot map each event to, we got to do this first. I keep wanting to, like, I don't know why. Events dot map each event to a list where we'll just map out the event ID, and maybe not, I don't know about the content, but what's the problem here? Hold on a second. Okay, that closes that. This closes this. This closes this. But we're missing one of these. There we go. So now we'll do that. And here we go. All right, we got some content. Probably the content is not good though, in terms of just seeing stuff. That's just gonna be that. So actually, yeah, let's do ID. There we go. So here is gonna be our stuff. Why is it like over to the right? Also, how are we inspecting elements into Rui? I guess this is how we're doing that. Maybe I need to like center this, like items center. There we go. Okay. So there's our blog posts. Maybe we can do, we're gonna need something to like extract the summary, but at least we have that going so far. Right. What's my Neovim client? Just a terminal, I guess. Nothing special. Nothing special there. So, all right. Let's continue here. So we have that. Now, it doesn't look like much, so maybe what we'll do is, one second, I got a message here. I mean the UI. I don't know what you mean by that. I'm just using my own stuff. I don't know. You mean like maybe the theme, the color scheme, maybe, potentially? Yeah, like the config is launch.nvim, which is like, I did a 5-hour stream. You can go back in my lives and you can see that. And you can also check the repo. But yeah, anyway. So we have that going. Now, what I might end up using like the Rust APIs and stuff like that for is like interacting with like local databases and like doing any like expensive sorting operations potentially or anything like that. Like that's probably what I'll end up using that for. But so what I really like Nostr, like what I like that it gives me the ability is that it gives me like real data, like real stuff that I can work with that people are actually posting. Like, and you get users immediately. Like you plug into the network and you automatically have users, which is very nice. But there's not a lot of tooling built up around it yet. So that's what I'm kind of trying to do with React Nostr. Like I'm trying to give like a tool so that people can do stuff a little bit easier. So what I'm going to do now is, oh yeah, I'm thinking like my site is like up here, like not in its own thing. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make this look a little bit nicer so that you see like some blog posts. We're going to be able to like load more. I'll probably end up maybe even setting up a intersection observer so that you can get infinite scroll. So let's see how far we can get with all of that. What we're going to need to do is create some sort of like little card thing so that the blogs look nice as they come down and they're not just like event IDs here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a component. I'm going to create a little section of components here. I'm going to call it posts. Or maybe... yeah, we'll do that. We'll call it posts. And then I'm going to create posts. I like naming it in caps. So posts.tsx. And then we're going to create a post.tsx. Okay. And so then what we'll do is... for now, we can just like print out like a post here. So then we'll go to post, and I'm going to do we'll do RFC like this. We don't need that, and this is going to be a post. Yep. Okay. We'll give it some props. So we'll say type props is equal to, and then what we want to take in actually is an event. Of type event, and then we'll just close this off because that's all we're gonna need. So we'll maybe call this like log event, just to, I don't know, maybe make it a little more easily understood. And then so event is like it's like a native type, unfortunately, but we don't want to use that one. We want to use import event from. Also, I hate this way I have to do things in JavaScript and TypeScript. Like if import event from, it should be from thing, import thing. That way I don't like, that way I can get like autocomplete Because like right now, what I could do is like get rid of that, and then I could do like, okay, from like Nostr tools, this, and then jump back here, right? And then I can do like E, and then it knows event is a thing, or that filter's a thing, or whatever, right? But it should be from the package, import the thing, instead of like import the thing from the package. I literally hate that so much. Anyway, so event, it's gonna be a type. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is do that like this, and we got our blog event here. And so then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna put we're just gonna maybe, I don't know, we'll do class name, we'll do, and I'll just give it like some padding, and then we'll do like we'll do we'll do like a span here maybe, I don't know, and we'll do like the event dot blog event dot public key, and then we'll, under that, we'll do another thing. We'll do like I don't know, ID. Okay, just for now. We don't need that there. See if I got any questions here. Hey Chris, want to say I absolutely love all the projects by you, from Zap to LunarVim. All of them made my life much easier. Thank you a lot for everything. That's good to hear. For those who are watching, please drop a like so others can see this. I agree. Thank you. Yeah, we should all be liking. How many people are here? Like 40 people. Like, come on. And you're going to see, we're going to have like a cool little blog app by the end of this, you know? And local, and with Shadcn, and all other kinds of neat stuff. Lame question, I know, but what MVim theme is that? It's fine. You can ask these questions. So go to GitHub. You can go to the LunarVim organization, and it's my Dark Plus theme. Dark Plus theme. Dark Plus.mvim. 2 stars away from 100 stars here. And you can see, like, I don't have the blue bar at the bottom anymore, but yeah. So this is that. I like it. I think it's actually a really good Dark Plus theme. I really have thought about a lot of weird things that really make this look good. So I do recommend it. How's it going, Hydra? Right now I'm using Launch. JavaScript 20 years later still can't import things where Python did it from the start. Fair enough. Any plugins you threw in yourself? Tons. Now, wrote myself, not many, but like added to my own config. I have tons of stupid plugins added in my config. One I really like lately is MVim UFO. So like, you see how I can like very easily implement folds, you know? It just handles folds so well. So I could do like ZM, I could do like Z capital R, open everything up. ZM, ZR, ZA, right? It's kind of nice. Using Kitty as your terminal emulator? Yeah, I actually am. I was rooting around through some of the issues because I was like trying to learn things, and I was wondering why he didn't upload his cat, or why he didn't upload his like he didn't change the icon. Like he had never uploaded a new icon, but he actually drew this icon of his own cat like 9 years ago, and then I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Are you using, yep. Do you have a new mic setup? Sounds different from the last streams. Is it better? Hopefully the sound is better. Anyway, so let me make this small. That way I can kind of see the chat there. How can I? No, that is not what I wanted to do. Let's do. Here we go. And then let's close this. I feel like things are a little laggy right now. Where are we at? Not using like that much. System resources. See, we're already like 10 gigs though. So you're telling me like 40 gigs is a lot. I'm sitting here using 10 gigs, barely doing anything. You can hear my voice more clear. That's good. What happened to Wes term? I like the tabs in Kitty a little bit better. And so that's why I'm using that right now. You prefer the fold column to be the third? What do you mean by that? The mic's def better? That's nice. Newcomer? Nice. Mic's fixed? Yes. Thank God. Oh yeah, I can do that. You're right. I used to. Well, okay. So I used to do this, and I used to be on like a tiling window manager. So this was like a difficult like thing to accomplish, like just to have like a floating thing. I would like to be able to change this thing's like z-axis so that like nothing, nothing goes over top of it. But like I probably could like take it and put it there. And then probably take this and put it like there. Yeah, and now we can kind of see. Isn't the Kitty version a little older in pop? Yeah, probably. I must admit you sounded a lot older with your old mic setup. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, you know, I don't sound like how I sound like in the videos. Like, it's weird. Like, I'll listen to the videos back, and that's, like, not what my voice sounds like in person, which is strange. Just minimize the Chrome. Yeah, you're right. We could, minimizing is a new thing, too. Look at that. We can minimize stuff. Oh, wow. Dude, minimizing is like a completely like new thing for me. All right. So anyway, now we got the chat. Now we got this app situation up here. Yeah, it's all good. Probably make it a little bit bigger. Not that. Not that. Not that. This. There we go. Also, it's not Chrome, you degenerate. It's Firefox. We don't use Chrome. Firefox is going away soon, I think. I think it's out of here. All right, so let's do that. Actually, we'll leave it in the list element. Anyway, we'll leave it in the list element because when I go to implement the intersection observer, I found out that you can't really add like refs to custom components. Z-Chrome is for noobs. What the hell is Z-Chrome? This is Cosmic, right? You can right-click on the title bar of a window wondering about the options. This is not Cosmic. Like, it's Cosmic, technically, yeah, but it's not like the new Cosmic. Like, for instance, I can show you a couple things from Cosmic. So we got the Cosmic terminal. You know what? This is probably going to crash my whole system, but whatever. I guess it'll be worth it. We'll see. All right, it takes a while to, like, boot up. But, like, this is the new Cosmic terminal from, like, the new thing. Like their new desktop thing. It has like tabs, situation thing here. You know, there are things I do and don't like about it, like all these things that they're building. We'll see how it goes. I won't like judge it too hard yet because it's not like ready yet. But I mean, it seems to be fast. It seems to not be handling my icons well though. You know what though? Probably because I don't have the font set correctly. But yeah, I mean, works. But yeah, this is the new Cosmic terminal here. Then they have Cosmic text editor. They have a file manager too. Let's take a look at that. I think it just takes a while because like I'm not using. You know what they need to add is like. Oh, I can't move it. Oh, okay, here we go. What they need to add is like list view. Nah, see, you're like. I need list view. Oh, wow. What do I have to... I need list view. The fact it's criminal that we don't have list view. So like this is fine, you know, but one more, we need list view. I should make a video where I create a wish list while they're still developing stuff. What is this shit? Close with an arrow to the right? That's a UI decision. Their light theme looks pretty good too, actually, as far as light theme goes. Anyway, there's things I do and don't like about it. If they ask me, I will I will expound upon that, whatever it may be. But yeah, there's things I really do like about it though so far. What kind of thing am I building? I'm building like a local blogging application. It's NeoVim actually. Yeah. No, this is VS Code. Then you can use like always on top for no. Oh, that would be nice. Yeah, we need something like that. Isn't it list view? No, maybe I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But what I mean is, like, oh, that's not what I wanted. Oh, we should also look at the editor as well. But it takes a minute. This is not because of their this is not how you would expect like it wouldn't take that long typically. It's because everything's still in like beta alpha, and I'm not even using it. Anyway, so it's because it's an alpha that I'm assuming it takes that long. But anyway, so what I mean is like I want to click on this, and then I want like another, like a line to be there, and then I want to continue to see this here, but then I want to see the contents of this particular thing on the right. And then I want to click on the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. I don't know what that's called. Maybe this is list view, and then that's called something else. Compact list view, maybe. I don't know. So yeah, one way or the other. I hope they add that. That can't be that hard to add. Ranger style, yeah, pretty much tree style, maybe, yeah, like what Mac does. Yeah, most people would know like how it behaves in Mac OS. What am I building? Didn't I already answer this, or was that the same question? I'm not sure. Anyway, what I'm building is like a local blogging app that will work with Nostr. So you'll see. It'll be cool when we're done with it. It's like a tree, but a list. Yeah, it's like that. Anyway. Columns. Yeah, column view. Column view. That's what we'll call it. The last thing that I should take a look at quickly is the text editor that they have. So Cosmic text editor. So we'll open that up. This is a very bold choice to go with this. To go with like light blue for your front, like your foreground. I don't know if I'm like in love with that, but you know, whatever. Anyway, yeah, I got a little text editor here. You can like write documents and things. You open a project. Blah blah blah. I guess it's got Git management. View. You set different things. Keyboard shortcuts. Nothing opens. Settings. Fire mono. We can change the little stuff there. That's nice. Oh, enable Vim bindings. Nice. They have Vim bindings. Sweet. Oh, okay. We can use this instead of NeoVim. Nice. All right. I got my new text editor. How's it going, Minciam? All right, this looks like shit. We gotta do something better than this. This is not good. So now we're gonna do a post, and we're gonna pass the blog event as the event. We're gonna actually import it like this, and there we go. So now we have that going. I'm fine new to Ruio. To Rui. Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of new to Rui as well. I don't really know a ton about it. You know, there's not like a lot of information out there about Tarui. Like, not a ton of people use it. I think not a lot of people write desktop apps. But I want to change that because that's like, again, like I said earlier, I don't really want, we got to get the apps off of the internet. They don't belong there. Apps don't belong in the browser. I've had enough of pretending that they belong in the browser. Okay, so now we want to get like you know what we want it to look like? We want it to look like another site that me and Ma built a little while ago called blogstack.io, which I think I'm going to lose the domain name for soon. We'll make it look kind of like this. So to do that, we need the title, and then we need the summary. So we're going to need a little utility for that. We need to delete Electron since Tarui exists now. Yeah, we don't need Electron anymore. I hate Electron-based or like apps that run a JS runtime behind them in general. Yeah, well, that's nice because this just uses JS for the front end, which is nice. How's it going, Westcott? We need to delete Electrons. Yeah. The sole reason I switched any of them apart from the bindings was RAM usage. Rust roadmap? I don't know. What do you mean by Rust roadmap? Like the roadmap for Rust? Well, you just gotta get 40 gigabytes of RAM like me, you'd be fine. Then you can run VS Code like me. Okay, so what I need, how do I like see other instances of Firefox that I have open? Where are they? Where's my other Firefoxes? There it is. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go grab some utility functions from this. And they live maybe here. Yes. So that's this junk. We just need one that grabs the tag value. What the hell are you doing? One second. Tag. Okay, here we go. Function called tag. Is this going to use SQLite? Yeah, probably will be using SQLite. I'm going to store the events locally, and then you'll have the choice to publish them out onto the network. So then you'll be able to publish them locally here and read them locally, like offline too. And then because you could just download all of the blogs that you want to see from somebody, and then you could also publish them so that they could be on sites like Blogstack or like abla.news. So you can just like publish them to other sites, like very easily. And all right, so now what I'm gonna do is we got like a lib and we got utils. I'm just gonna put something called Nostr in here for now, while I, in the future we'll change this. Yeah, so that's going to be that. And then what we're going to do is get the title here. So we'll do a tag like that. I don't know if that imported it correctly, but we want to grab the title from it and from the blog event like this. Import, no. From lib Nostr. What's your problem? Oh, you know what? I'm probably not exporting it. And we probably want to get the type and blah, blah, blah. Can't spell. There we go. All right, let's see. Did that do anything? I saved it. Yes. So now we have titles. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to, I don't know, like maybe like a H2 tag. I don't know why this didn't change. H2. All right, and then we're going to give it some information here. So we'll do class name. Maybe we'll do text LG. Nah, maybe not. Maybe we'll just do font bold, like that. Okay. Yeah, everything's going to be marked down by default. So you're going to just write in, and you can publish from NeoVim too. Like you'll be able to publish from anything, but you'll be able to read all of your markdown like inside of this app, and then you'll be able to publish from this app. That's my hope. That's what I want it to be like. I don't know how I'm going to achieve all of that, but I think it shouldn't be that hard. Okay, so now we're going to want to go and grab maybe the summary for under here. So now I'm going to do this. Well, you know what? No, I'm just going to write it from scratch here. So inside of here, I'm going to do tag, and I'm going to say, all right, give me the summary of the event from the blog event, like that. And there we go. So now we can kind of like scroll through little blog posts that exist. Now, let's do some other things. Let's actually make it like not look totally terrible. So I think when we're bigger, we can have a bigger card there. So let's jump back to post. What we'll do is we'll mark this file, and then we'll jump back to posts. Oh, it's not even in posts. It's an app, and we'll mark this file as well. So now what we'll do is change this to be maybe like XL, or maybe like 3XL. There we go. And then what we'll do is we'll get back to the post. Oh wait, we marked this, so we can go like that. Now we have an H2 and we have a span there, but on top of that, we probably should put like maybe like the profile picture and such. So let's go take a look at how we'll do that, or what we maybe want it to look like. Where's Blockstack? Here we go. Yeah, they even have a good kind of way of doing it. So on top of that, we're going to put something like this. So we're going to put maybe like an image tag. And say source is equal to, we're going to grab the tag picture from the blog event, like that. That looks great. Oh wait, that's not in the blog event. Never mind. Okay, this is the moment where I'm going to actually need to go and get the profile for the user. So we're going to have to think about that now. So now let's do that. So I have another hook for getting the profile for a particular user. So we're going to do use profile. All right, so we're going to do const. We're going to destructure some stuff here. Probably we'll get around to that. And then I think, what do I pass this? Oh. Oh, no, it's there. What's the problem then? We're going to say equals. what does it take? It takes a public key, so it will be blog event dot public key. Now, yeah, well, anyway, that's fine. So then we'll do comma, and then what else? I wish I had like the signature help thing set up. I have to get the signature help set up. And then we need relays, and then this returns a loading and a profile event. So what we're gonna do is get the profile event out of here, and we'll destructure loading, and then we'll do we'll pass it relays. So that would be in here. So we'll just do that. Instead of that, though, we'll do like that. And what is your problem? Okay. So now, from the profile events, we'll do like that. And I don't know how to refresh this. Ah, there we go. Oh man, how come that didn't work? I should have gotten the profile event. So let me think about this. Let's do console.log profile event. And we'll say profile event, like that. Inspect console profile event. Everything's there. Oh yeah, never mind. We gotta grab that out of some stringified content. So we're gonna be grabbing not the tag, but we're gonna pass the content in. So let's do let's go grab another utility function. What the hell is going on? No. Finish event, get zap endpoint, zap request, fetch invoice, WebLN, pay invoice, encrypt message, create an adder. There we go. Probably could have written this from scratch, but whatever. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to say, all right, export this, and we need the profile type. Actually, I should have, no, maybe yeah, I do have the profile type. Okay, nice. So now what we'll do is instead of that, we'll say profile content, and all right, and there we go. So now we have a little profile content there. So what I'm going to want to do now is probably grab this. All right, and let's change this to like 8. And we'll say rounded full. And then maybe like aspect square. I don't know if there's anything else I typically pass to that. I think actually I have a good class name list for profile images in another app I'm working on. think this one has it. So if I go to source, components, header, user profile, maybe. Should be an image, yeah. Class name, this stuff. That's just adding a border though. So yeah, aspect square, rounded full. And then I'm using the actual image component from them, which, probably shouldn't even be doing that. Probably don't need to pass in a border for now. Yeah, that's probably fine. All right, and then around this, we'll do, I don't really ever know if I should really do like a span or a div, but I'll do a div in this case. We'll pass that in there, and then after that div, let's do, okay, throughout all of this too, let's do a gap y2. Just kind of give ourselves a little bit of space. All right. And now we'll add their name. So now I'll do a span. Actually, that's not what we want. Profile content dot name. All right, and we'll get rid of this font bold for now. And then what we'll do is class name flex. Justify center. Nope. What is it? Item center. There we go. And we're just going to put some gap x2. And there we go. And now what we might do is, I mean, I think this is pretty good so far. What else would I add to the bottom? Yeah, I guess we could add like a tag. I don't know how we're getting this 4-minute read, 13-minute read thing. That's pretty neat. We got to get that hooked in here as well. So, okay, in the top there. All right, how do we get that dot too? I want that dot. Let's copy that dot. All right, and so then what we'll do, get rid of that and then that. Let's span, well, let's do a span, span, where we'll just put this dot. There we go. Object cover for the avatar? Okay. Object. I guess we'll have to type this. Cover. Maybe get rid of aspect square. I don't know if it really changes much. I'm a little annoyed by this guy's thing. The other ones look good. Maybe, all right, if I get rid of object cover, yeah, that's much worse. So object cover, it's definitely got to be the move, I think. Yeah. All right, and then next to that, we'll just pop this, and then we'll do, not the summary, but we'll do the created. Well, it would just actually be dot created app. Yeah. Now, what we probably should do too is everything inside of this we could do a text SM. Object fill. I think the other one was better. Maybe. I can't really tell. But maybe we'll be able to tell when we do other images later. But I think that's fine for now. Let me try the fill thing for that one, just to see if that improves. Not really. So that's fine. I don't know what's going on with that one. All right. So now we have this created at there. Also inside of this, I'm going to do text muted foreground. Maybe not. Maybe I'll do text secondary foreground. I don't know if that really changes much, but whatever. We'll work on that later. And now, under the summary, we'll put a tag like that. And on that, really probably we should make this into like a badge. So we could install badge. And then we'll try that out. We'll say badge. Sure, whatever. I don't know why that actually would matter. I don't think I need this class name stuff. And then we'll put that inside of a badge. That's not good. That's because we have a flex container. Not sure what would really help with that. What do I do? Maybe if I put like a div around it or something. Yeah. The object fit CSS property is always tricky. I never got it right from the first time. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably fine. It is what it is. Anyway, let's do a different variant here maybe. We'll do a variant. I don't know what my options are. Default, secondary, destructive, outline. Let's try secondary. Yeah, it's fine, I guess. Probably want to change our font at some point though. All right, it's kind of coming along. Another package I'm probably going to install is going to be pnpm add day.js. And then there's like a way to format times and things. Maybe we'll get around to that later. I don't know. Let's see. So close this. Let's take a look at how I'm using it in here. No matches found. Oh, that would be like in this particular file. Really? Let's try the resolver test app. day.js. What? I know that's working. Let's go to no. Components. Bounty component. Bounty. Bounty metadata. Oh, that would be. We want like a bounty card, I think. No. Whoops. No date. Profile content. Here we go. From now. Where am I pulling that in from? From libutils. Libutils. I knew I had day.js. I don't know why I wasn't able to find that. And then we'll just grab this. All right, now we just got to grab also the relative time extension. Which I forget what that's called. Is it just built in? I thought I remembered installing something. Okay, so then what are you complaining about then? Oh, I probably pull it in from, let's go back. This. Yeah, I guess it is bundled with it, I guess. Okay, and that's exported, so then now if we go to change the time, now if we take a look at that, 3 hours ago, 5 hours ago, nice. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Do you happen to know why NeoVim is so laggy on large files while VS Code doesn't get slow regardless of the number of lines of code? It is as slow as it is, but does not crash on large files like NeoVim does. I really don't know. I would assume maybe there are some limitations of the terminal or something else. Maybe they can just load pieces of the file at a time and then kind of... I really have no clue how that would work. I think... I don't know. I never really have that issue too much. If I don't really... I don't know. I don't find myself opening like insanely large files. And if I do... there is a plugin that we have in the LunarVim organization that like turns off tree sitter and a bunch of other stuff if you open a file that's too big. Probably some plugins slow it down. I had no problem running on large files without plugins. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like that's why we have this big file.nvim thing in the LunarVim org. So like if you run into this problem a lot, this is something Lost Neophyte made. Big file.nvim. automatically disable certain features if the open file is big. So like you'll turn off like the language server, tree sitter, the indent blank line plugin, illuminate, no match paren, turn the syntax off, things like this should speed it up. But yeah, you can take a look at it. It may help you. Right. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I would also turn off the buffer extension too for CMP because that probably is not helping you. Let's do a nice minimize there. And also we'll minimize that. Okay. So now we have this. Now also for the card, let's do something like cursor dash pointer. So now you'll be like that. And then we'll also do hover BG, maybe secondary, divide 5. Maybe, I don't know. That's not even as bad. I'll just do divide like, maybe like 90. Maybe a little more. I want it to be subtle. Yeah. Maybe you do like rounded MD. There we go. That's starting to look pretty good. I think now what I want to do is implement something like infinite scroll. So that shouldn't be too hard to do. Let me just a second. So what we want to do is when we scroll down far enough, we want to reach like a particular like post, and then when we reach that post, we want to load more posts. That's kind of the idea. So we'll implement that. We probably also should put some sort of header up there, maybe. I don't know. I don't really know what I want this like to look like. It could have like a side drawer thing on the side, maybe, like something like that, or it could have like a header thing at the top. I mean, it's like a desktop app, so I don't know what the best way to do. Like we don't have to make it look like the UI of a your typical website. No design like Figma? Nah, I don't do design. I just code it immediately and just guess everything as I'm going. And I think it all usually turns out okay. If I designed all this in Figma, I feel like I would never get anything done. Like nothing would ever exist. I feel like this already looks like okay enough, you know? Like it's not the most beautiful thing ever, but I'll iterate on it in the future. I've only been here for like 30 minutes doing this. Okay. So let's do, well, we could do a header, we could implement infinite scroll. Let me think about it. Either way, we'll do one or the other next. And then we'll create maybe like, we're going to have to do like a router so that we can route to individual posts and we can like actually render them in Markdown. So that's another thing that's going to have to get done. Page. Here, let's see. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to install React intersection observer. So I'm going to do pm add React intersection observer. All right. And so what that really means is that it's going to observe when I interact with some particular thing. So or intersect with some particular thing. So if I intersect, the second I am there, I've intersected with this element, and at that moment I should trigger something, right? So that's what we're going to do. Now, let's hop over here and let's do something like, I don't know, I forget how it exactly works, but I think it's const, we need to get the ref, and from the ref we're going to say that that is equal to use in view. Is that not? I know I imported this thing. Or I know I installed it. Import. Yes, that. Okay, it does exist, it seems. So we'll do use in view, and then we're gonna do, let's see, on change, and then we're gonna do, I don't know what the entry in this case would be. I think it would just be in view that I need. And then we'll say if in view, and it's not loading, and I think we also want to grab the status out of here. I don't know if that necessarily would help that much, but whatever guard we can get. And I'll say if the status is equal to idle, then we'll run the, well, we don't have a function yet, and we don't have this attached to anything yet. So okay, so we have this function here, and now you can't really add the ref here, so that's why I have this wrapped in a list, so that I can just put the ref on that. I don't want to think about forward ref. I don't want to think about that bullshit, so we're not dealing with that. We're just gonna do, we're gonna try to grab like the last element. So we want to add this ref to the last, only if it's the last element. So what we're gonna need to do is we're gonna need to grab the index here. I think the index is the second thing. We'll type it all the way out. And then what we're going to need to do is if index is equal to events dot length minus, and then this would be like up, like from the bottom. So we'll say like 2. So once you reach the second to last post, that's when this ref, that's when we're going to like, that's when we want to load something. If that's the case, then it will have the ref. If it's not the case, then it will be null. And that's the thinking. Now we're going to need to expose something else from here that I baked into the library called load older events. And with that, what we'll be able to do is we'll be able to, I don't know, we'll write like a little function, say load more, Yeah, sure. And then inside of that, we'll await load older events, but we got to pass the same event key. So the event key there would be blogs. So actually, let's abstract the event key. Let's say const event key is equal to blogs. And then we'll take this. Can I just do like that? Yeah? Okay, cool. And then we'll do event key, and then at a time, I'll maybe get 3 at a time. And then we're going to close this. And instead of console.log load more, now we're going to say load more like this. All right. And now what I should be able to do is scroll down, and then more will load. And now we've implemented infinite scroll. So now we got all these blocks, which is kind of cool. Now, if I go fast, it still works. And it's all coming over a WebSocket. Look at that. Someone needs to be impressed by that. This was hard for me to do and understand when I was first learning how to do this. But yeah, it works pretty seamlessly, and it's like professional scroll. Also, some of these things need to be not allowed in, but yeah, like that's great. But no one cares, whatever. You know. These things on the press. You guys, apparently everybody else knows how to implement infinite scroll perfectly besides me. I was late to that party, it seems. So let's do, well now, so I probably want to implement maybe a little header at the top. But I don't really know what I really want it to look like, to be honest. So I don't really know what like a good desktop app looks like. We could have like a floating header thing. That might be neat. That's a good point. We probably should unload some of the previous ones. Well, the thing is, I don't have that implemented yet in my library. I don't have load newer events. So I would have to go into the library and implement load newer events. And then what I could do is, once it reaches a certain number, then I could unload I could pop some off the top there. And then do it that way. You're right. I should do that. But not today. Not until I go to this library and I implement load newer events. And then that way, as you scroll up, we can add another ref, I guess. So I would assume we could like implement 2 of these refs. And then like just name them like a different thing. Like this one would be like load more ref. You know what I mean? And then we could have load older ref. And then we would have load newer ref. And then load newer ref would listen on like the which one would that listen? You know what? Yeah, it would just listen near the top. So it would just listen to like the first or second event that's in that list, right? And yeah, we could do it. Let's see how far I get today. If I want to crack open the library and actually write the load newer implementation. But just even getting this right, by the way, was very difficult because there's some like tricky shit you need to handle when you're reading from multiple relays and you're reading over a WebSocket. Like there's just weird things that happen. But maybe we'll get around to that today. So anyway, I need like a style for like a header for a desktop app. Like I need something, I don't know. I guess I could just do like a normal one, but it just feels kind of wrong. I just feel like my desktop app should like maybe not even have a header. Maybe just have something on the side. I don't know. I guess we'll do a header for now. So I'm going to do header like this. And then we'll do header.tsx. And inside of here, we don't really have like the concept of like a layout in this. I'm gonna have to figure that out. I have actually had a way of setting this up so that it has some sanity. I have that in my escrow Tauri app that I built, so maybe we'll take a look at that. Let me make this a little bit smaller. No, that's not what I wanted to do. No, that's going to do that again. We definitely don't want to do that. Okay, here we go. But yeah, we'll implement unloading the previous events once I have a load newer events function, which really is the same exact function as this function. It's just that, I mean, you know, I could even like implement that function. I could like maybe pass an argument. Just like load newer or older. I don't know what a better API would be, like to give somebody like a singular function to run, or to like give them two functions to run that like both the functions semantically like kind of explain what they're going to do, rather than like one function that like you have to pass an argument that says either you're going to load newer events or older events. I don't know what would be better in that case, but anyway. So let's do, I'm just going to jump over here because I have a layout that I like. No, it's not in that organization. It's in this organization. Yeah, if we just go to the source code here, I've got pages, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. Let's maybe set it up like that. So then we have app and main there. And then I have something called pages, like that. We have components, we have lib, static, stores. We don't really need stores right now, I don't think. Styles. Auth is going to be another thing that's going to be somewhat complicated. Styles. We have that somewhere, I think. Yeah, right there. All right, and yeah, then he put the API there. So I guess I'm going to use React Router. I've heard good things about the TanStack router though. TanStack router. Like, I don't know if I should use the TanStack router or just React Router. Because I know TanStack, the React query from TanStack is really nice. And for TypeScript support, built-in route loaders, acknowledgements. There's so much more to do. TanStack router, hit the next button. Let's get started. Okay. So installation, and then a quick start. Oh, geez, what is this? Oh, that's just a class name. Never mind, I was going to say. I thought I was going to be like, anyway, okay. Link to, is it that simple? It can't be that simple. It's never that simple. Okay, wait, this is the route. Yeah, okay, yep, here we go. Now there's something like an outlet. some dev tool situation. And then we have an index route. An about route. Which is a new route, which goes there and then returns something. I don't know. Comparison. Before you commit to a new tool, it's always nice to know how it stacks up against the competition. Strives to be blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, yeah, what does it do? Repo stars, the most important thing. Okay. It does things that doesn't do, I guess. But are they important to me? So history, memory, okay, blah, blah, blah. The first thing is type safe routes. So I guess I'd rather have that. File-based routes. I guess. I don't know. Yeah, that's actually nice. I don't really understand that. Auto route prefetching, sure. Path params, that's nice. Path param validation, custom path param parsing, serialization, relative navigation. Okay. I think the syntax is maybe a little bit, it's not bad. So, search param schema validation, I like that. Type, save, search params, yeah, that's good. Okay. Full stack APIs? I guess maybe we can try it out. I'm a little confused though. Like what the root route is. To start building your route hierarchy. So I have to build this route hierarchy. The outlet component is used to potentially render any matching child components. Okay. It's like a catch-all. All right, maybe I'll try it out later. I don't want to read about it right now. Let's see here. So, well, yeah. I honestly hate, I really like Next.js's routing. Like, I like how that just works. Like, all this other routing stuff it just kind of serves to confuse me a little bit. I feel like I don't want to build a route tree. Okay. All right. Maybe at some point. So what we'll do is we'll probably just install React Router and we'll just use that for now. In the future, I might try out the TanStack one. Okay, so let's add that. pm, add React router DOM. And from there, I think I just hooked it up in either main or app. Yeah, we have to wrap everything in browser router. So we're gonna do, okay, like that. Got browser router.
browser router. Why can't I never like import things like the way I want to? Down client, toaster, browser router. All right, and now if I go into the app, I will have this available. So I can just add these roots here. I kind of need to get all this stuff out of here too. Because then we have routes, we have the header. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have to, we'll get all this stuff out of here. What are we complaining about? I think we're complaining about this. Yeah. Okay, and I need to import this from here. All right, and we can protect routes, but for now, I don't care about protecting any routes. I don't have a login or a node. I don't have a settings page that I need to protect. We will have a blog page like that, and then we'll have a home page like this, and then this would be the natter, I would assume. And we'll get rid of that. And we'll get rid of this, I guess. No NeoVim? Yeah, we're done with NeoVim. Moved on to bigger and better things. No more window managers and no more NeoVim. We only use desktop environments in VS Code now. So, okay, now we have contracts page. Instead of contracts page, we're going to call this maybe home page, maybe. And let's see how our pages are set up. So we'll go to source, pages. Yeah, okay, so it's just simple pages. So we'll do home page.tsx RFC. All right, and inside of that home page should basically just be all of this. Currently trying to get the Tailwind language server to work with my Golang template files. Just pass it. Well, I would need to know what your config looks like, but it should be pretty simple. Damn, that's huge. Can you repeat it again for me, please? Why you decided to do so? I don't know. VS Code just works better for me. No, but on a real note, this is still NeoVim. And the desktop environment, I am actually kind of like over tiling window managers at this point. I think there's nothing that like a tiling window manager really does for me that I can't like basically accomplish with Alt-Tab. And I just don't feel like managing a whole entire desktop environment situation anymore. Like I'd just rather somebody else manage that for me. Well, folder managers, that looks like mvim tree, but pretty sure it's not. It is mvim tree. You can see it right there, see? Also, it's very nice to add titles. So you see how like I'm working in tab, like homepage right now, homepage.tsx. But then like if I open up another tab, right, and then like say I open up, I don't have any other projects installed right now, but like if I open up some other project, for instance, and then if I was like, you know, let me open up this, I see like I'm in main, you know, and then I can like swap between them and know what they are. Kind of like that. Looks like VS Code. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's just the color scheme. It is NeoVim though. But yeah, it's not really. What I do like about it though, again, I've explained this before, but something that I like about the file tree, like if you are going to use a file tree, turn on relative line numbers in the file tree, and then like instead of like going like this to like get to the thing you're looking for, or like trying to get there, you know what I mean? You do like if I wanted to get to like app.tsx there, right? Like if I wanted to get there to 18, I could just do like 18J over, you know what I mean? So I think that's pretty good if you are going to be using a file tree. I know file trees get a lot of hate, but I like to see like kind of how my project is laid out. So that's just, you know, for me personally why I like it, but you know, other people don't have to like it if they don't want to, you know. Okay, so let's get rid of this Tauri stuff right now because we don't really need that. We'll probably need it later. And yes, I think we're good. VS Code could not load that fast if I wanted to. That's very, very true. You fooled me. Hey, may I ask, in some of my code bases, when loaded, it takes a good 6 to 10 seconds to highlight all of the code. Do you have any idea what the reason would be? Yes. Probably what's happening is your either regex highlighting or tree sitter highlighting doesn't match the highlighting that ends up coming from your language server. So you'd want to make sure that your color scheme is consistent across regex or tree sitter and whatever the language server is going to provide. And you can find that out by doing something like this. You could do like over top of an element, you could do like inspect like that. And then you can see like, okay, is this only driven by tree sitter? Like this one's only driven by tree sitter, so it's just going to be tree sitter. But like this one probably is driven by the language server. Yeah, see, because this one's a semantic token. So because this one's a semantic token, it's going to be driven by the language server, and so then you see like at lsp.type function. Now you could get even more fine grained, I guess, but you know, anyway. So this is here, and so that's how you know. But this would flash for me, because like if I just loaded this like really fast, like that would be light blue, and then it would turn yellow, because tree sitter doesn't have the context to know that that's actually a function, whereas your language server knows that that's a function. Tree sitter can only assume that it's a variable, because I'm just destructuring it from something. It's not going to know that it's a function. Rust Analyzer is a language server. So Rust Analyzer very likely gives you semantic tokens. I use the file tree to create new files and folders, telescope for actual navigation. Fair enough. What's your plan with your Mac? You said a while ago you plan to install a new version of Linux. Yeah, Sahi Linux. I do plan to do that. I did install Sahi Linux, but I can't stream from it. It just doesn't work right, so maybe in the future. What you got me confused is that I saw that the file names were editable like in a regular buffer or oil. Am I mistaken? Yeah, I didn't do that, if it seemed that way. It might have seemed that way because I'm using dressing. So like you can see that I'm doing that. Like that's because I'm using dressing. So dressing like actually opens up like a nice little pop-up there for me, all right? Rather than opening it down here in the command palette situation. But I do actually have oil bound to a key so that I can do things with oil if I want to. I very much like oil. I don't use it as often as I should, but I think it's very cool. I'm only using tree. Yeah, there's a experience. Yeah, got it. Thanks. Yep. So that's probably what that was. Yeah, I mean, you guys can feel free to like ask questions. Like, I'm here because it's hard for me to stay focused writing software unless I'm like doing it live. If I'm doing it live, then I'll actually sit here and write software. But if I'm not gonna be live, then I'm gonna go downstairs and I'm gonna get snacks and I'm gonna go like watch YouTube videos or something. So, so it's better that I stay in front of this computer here and actually finish the stuff I want to finish so that I can ship software. Anyway. So yeah, we got the homepage there. We probably want to maybe remove this situation. And then we want to import that bad boy. I got the Tailwind language server to launch on .temple files, but does not suggest any classes, sadly. Maybe something in CMP. But assume it's not CMP, because if the language server is active, it should be giving you suggestions. Like they should all just be, they're injected under one thing in CMP. They're not injected, like if the language server is active, it should be there in CMP. So it's not CMP. That's, you know, I've been wrong before, but I'm going to tell you that that's what I think. Save this. Let's jump over here and close that. Everything seems to be working, but I'm not sure if it's like actually working. Could having 2 active language servers be the issue? Almost certainly not, because like I probably have like 3 active language servers. I have NullOS running, I have Tailwind running, I have Copilot running as a language server, I have TypeScript tools, which is just like a facade around TypeScript or TS server running. I have CSSLS active but not attached to the current buffer, JSONLS active but not attached to the current buffer. And then I think ESLint could be active right now, but isn't because I don't have the executable. But if I did have the executable, it would be active right now. So, like for instance, I guess if I did pnpm add flag d ESLint like this, and then if I did lsp start ESLint like that, like it would probably be active, but I don't know that I'm doing anything that ESLint would be mad at me about right now. So like maybe like if I wasn't referencing this, well, that's only coming from TS server. ESLint should be active though. I don't know, whatever. But what window manager are you using and what is that status bar? This is GNOME 42. So no special window manager. So I guess maybe Mutter is my window manager, I think it's called. But yeah, we're in a good old, look, window managers for me at this point, if I'm being honest, you know, my take is that they're just kind of a meme. I don't think you really need it. So yeah, so we're just using good old GNOME. I recommend that if you feel as if you're not being as productive as you feel you should be, to just not play around with the window manager stuff as much anymore, and then just kind of like get out of there and do something else. But that's, you know, I went into that in my, I had like a kind of ranty stream like a few maybe days ago. I don't remember what the hell I was even streaming about. I think, oh yeah, I was streaming about Pop OS. Like when I just like switched over to that. I'm using Arch with Hyperland with 1-year-old settings. Fair enough. Yeah, I just don't want to manage my bar anymore. Like I don't want to think about like that anymore. Like look, this thing just like works. See what I'm saying? Like it gives me notifications. It tells me when, like, lets me like play music very simply. I have like a calendar or something. It tells me the battery percentages of my Bluetooth devices that are connected and stuff. And when I install things, I can put do not disturb to turn off them. You know, it's just nice to just have that built in and not actually like have to think about it. And then also just the fact that like if I want to come over here now and I want to like, you know, click on something, like it all just works, you know, everything just makes sense. And if I want to move between apps, I just alt tab and it's fine. And if I want to like move like something to the left or right, I just move it to the left or right. And now when I open like extensions, or if I open like this and I like want to break it out and pop it out, like I can do that. And also I can minimize apps, which kind of miss being able to do that. Anyway, I feel like, I don't know. That's just my thinking. I got your idea, but I still configure my Arch once. That's it. Did you have some problems that you decided to move on? I just felt like I would spend, not everybody, has this problem, but I would just spend a lot of time just goofing around, like with my settings and stuff, instead of working on like actual projects. You know what I mean? So I was just like, I could still run Arch, and I still know a shit ton about Arch, and I still know a shit ton about window management, all this kind of thing. But like, it's just not. It's just not something that's going to make me like productive and like get me to my goals of like actually creating software and stuff. It's kind of a hobby, yeah, but like I have different hobbies now, I guess. Like I don't want that to take up my time. Because it was never for me meant to be a hobby. For me it was meant to be for me it was meant so that I could create a more productive workflow for myself. But then I realized that I would it was a detriment to my productivity and like speed working. So I was just like, it's fine. You can use a mouse every now and then. Having a mouse is comfy sometimes. And I don't really use a mouse that often because I'm in NeoVim. So it's like, it's just, I don't know. That's what family in real life do to you. I don't have a family yet. I don't know. For me, it's just not even so much that. It's just more so. It's more so that I just want to. I guess I'm also in my late 20s, so I'm old now. I heard that rant. It was great. Sound like me, an old man. It was good, right? Gotcha. But yeah, I don't want that to be my hobby anymore, right? Like I want my hobby to be like creating like desktop apps and like useful software for people to use. Like if I create a cool blogging app for people to use, then I feel like then I'm actually doing something. And especially if it's more in line with like how like my ethos for software, which I don't agree. Like I want to spread my influence and ethos for software because I don't agree with the way we're doing software today. I really hate it. I hate a lot of things about it. But one thing I hate is the fact that like everybody uses we all use the internet like we're serfs and we're plebs and we're just like the unwashed masses, and then the people who own the servers and the databases, they're the cool people who get all the money, and they get all like they can ban you and like F you, you know what I mean? But I don't want it to be that way anymore. What I want it to be is I want the server to be my laptop or my desktop. And I want the database to not be even really a database. I just want it to be a relay where I relay information from me to other people who are running servers that is just their desktop and a desktop app. So then if we decide we want to communicate with each other, we just ping a relay. It could be any relay. Send it information. Then that information goes from my desktop to your desktop, and Elon can go F himself, you know what I mean? And the old board of Twitter and all those people can certainly go F themselves as well. And I'm not beholden to Elon. I'm not beholden to some insane board who likes to ban people. I'm not beholden to Zuckerberg or anything like this. And I'm not beholden to anybody who just is running a server somewhere. Like, I don't get why that is so necessary. Do you think Vim is worth it? Can we stop complaining up here? Thank you. Well, for me, yeah. I mean, maybe not for everybody, but I can't really make that determination for people, right? Like, it depends what your goals are. Like, it's going to take you a while to get good at Vim. Definitely going to take you a long time to get as good as me as some aspects that I'm good at Vim. But then again, I'm not a particularly fast typer or particularly even good at idiomatic Vim, right? But I have my own way of doing Vim. that is like my way of doing things, and I'm pretty productive with it. So I would say much more productive than if I was if I was clicking and pointing and things like that with VS Code. I would get so tired of writing code if I had to do shit like this. You know what I mean? And like, oh, whoops, I gotta get this like that. You know what I mean? Rather than just like kind of coming up here and just grabbing it, paste, or like yanking it, pasting it, kind of thing. Like that's much faster for me. Or if I want to remove a line, like, and I know VS Code has key bindings and stuff like that, but most people don't learn those. And even if you did become like a VS Code power user, I just don't even like VS Code. Like I don't like Microsoft. I'm not a fan. I want to subvert like modern computing. I don't like what we're doing. I'm telling you what I like. I want to change that. So it's just like a keylogger. In terms of productivity, I don't know. It's good for me, maybe not good for everybody. I just want to be productive, not spend hours on dot files. Exactly. The only dot files I care about at this point are my new Vim config and my terminal config. And like, that's it. I could be using any desktop because you know why? Every desktop has Alt Tab. So I just Alt Tab. So like if I have like another terminal open and I want to move between these two terminals, I just Alt Tab. Well, right now I would Alt tilde. And every single desktop, every modern desktop has these abilities. I can move between these same two apps just like this. And then if I want to open up another app like the chat right now, I can just open up the chat. And if I want to open up one that hasn't been in like my, it's not in the last thing I used, I just hold it and then I open that up, right? And then I move between these two and then I can move back between like the terminal and that app, right? So, and that's available on every system. So now at this point, I don't give a shit what I'm using. If I'm using Mac OS, I'm Alt tabbing. If I'm using GNOME, I'm Alt tabbing. If I'm using KDE, I'm Alt tabbing. If I'm using Windows 11 or whatever, I'm Alt tabbing. It's always going to be there. So it's fine. I don't need to give a shit anymore about what I'm using. It's there for me. A decentralized database. Yeah, that anybody can run. You could spin up your own. That's what we want. We call them relays. Are you mainly picking Tauri for its ease of creating projects for multiple systems, or is there another feature you're looking to take advantage of? Yeah, the one thing is the ease on multiple systems. The other thing is that it is built with Rye and Tau so that it's faster and not as much of a resource hog as something like Electron. So that's why. What is your project right now? What do you want to do or doing? What I want to be possible is, and what I almost basically have here, almost, I want you to write blogs locally and save them locally, right? And anything. It could be tweets or blogs or anything you want, right? I got some of this little, like, I don't know what to call it. I don't know, the way I'm thinking about it right now. So it's been a while that I've been piecing a lot of this stuff together. So like, first I got into Nostr and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like we don't have to like have like, we don't like anybody can spin up a database and we can all just use the same exact object that goes into the database and then we're fine. Great. Okay, awesome. So that gets rid of the need for a database. But then if I'm working on a website, so I was talking to this other engineer who's on like the team that I'm on for some of the stuff we're working on for like various hackathons and some other projects and things. And he brought up the fact that like, yeah, but like if you're on a desktop app, like you don't need to, you're not beholden to some guy's server. So like for instance, if I create a website for blogging, then you can, like it could be taken down. Or I have to renew a fucking domain name. And I have to deal with all this bullshit. And I have to deal with like the constraints of the web. And then I don't have necessarily good access to the user's file system. And if you want to like do things, like you need like browser extensions and all this bullshit. And it's just like, and there's ads all over the web. And you're being tracked all over the web. And it's just like, screw that. Like, to get out of that thing. That thing is like a botnet. It's spyware. It's a nightmare. It's blocking your access to things. It's making you like an internet serf. It's making you like an internet. You should own your applications, right? And so like he brought that up, I thought about it and I was like, yeah, that's like a really good point. Like, why? Like, I think we need to stop cramming applications into the internet and pull them out, put them on the desktop, and then only websites should be on the internet. And I can just go back to the internet in peace and just read things on the internet. I don't want it to be like my center for like all my apps and things like that. I don't want to have to be worried that I'm going to be banned from a platform or anything like that either. And I feel like we're just going to get a better ecosystem of thoughts and ideas, not having to deal with that. And I'd rather it too just be like, nobody gives a shit anymore about like Twitter or whatever. It's just like I have some app on my computer and then like I can just read. Like people probably still will because most of them are just lemmings. But you know, I could just read everything I want to read here and post everything I want to post from here, and I never even have to open up Firefox or Chrome or anything like that. Like imagine like you have like your app, the site, the app, whatever you work on, it depends on so many things. It depends on you having an internet browser, which depends on JavaScript inherently, which depends on someone else running a server, which depends on all of the versions and all of the nightmares inside of there, right? And then it depends on that server having hardware running somewhere. And then it depends on some database that's abstracted from you completely that's behind that server. And it's just so much. And I don't know. Hopefully that makes sense. I've looked into Whales a little bit, yeah. I might try that out in the future. Anarchy, yeah. For now, yes. VS Code is good if you can customize it. Fair enough. I can't use VS Code on principle, but that's fine. If other people want to use it, then I'm not, if you're doing what you want to do. What do you suggest for Swift, Android, Kotlin development to get similar NeoVim experience? Is that even possible? I doubt it. What does this do in your config? What does what do in my config? So basically JavaScript is a crime. Yeah. JavaScript is it's just bad. But not really. Like, the web browser is bad. The web browser is bad. And then you might think that I support like applications for phones, but I don't, because that's another walled garden. The pinnacle of sovereign computing is the desktop application. Okay? And it doesn't get enough love, and everybody doesn't pay attention to it for this particular reason that it's the pinnacle of sovereign computing is the desktop application. Something that I can install on a Linux desktop or a Mac desktop or a Windows desktop that's cross-platform that I can just install, and that's it. And I don't need a web browser other than to install it, but I don't even really need that. I can just use like curl. YouTube with blocking, ad blocker, Spotify asking for letting you skip music. Yeah, gotcha. Right. Every app is connected to the internet. How does one decide which should be a desktop app and which should not? All of them should be desktop apps. You can read things offline because you can save all of this text directly onto a file on your computer. This is going to cost megabytes for all the stuff that you want to keep. It's nothing, right? And then the stuff that you just want, when you want to connect to the internet and you want to read new stuff, you connect to the internet, you read new stuff, it all just gets pulled, like what I'm doing right here. Look, watch. See, infinite scroll. Look, right now, I'm pulling down these events. I'm pulling down all these events from a relay. All these blocks. Boom. See? And then if I turn off my computer, I save the ones that I want. I could set it up so that I could save everything that I saw today, and then I could purge it. And then I could, like right now, if I disconnect from the internet and I had a setting in here that said save everything, every single one of these, it's going to cost on my computer. And then I can just unhook from the internet and I could like get on a train. And then if it just saved all of these, and then I could just read whatever ones I'm interested in. And then the ones that I'm not interested in could just disappear after a day. And then that's it. It's fine. Apps or services, right? And that's the other thing. It's not good. As a web developer myself, I agree the web is bad. At the same time, it's very accessible. With the browser, you have YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, and so many things. It's not great, but it's accessible. Yeah, sure, but why shouldn't we just build them as desktop apps? You know, probably that's why it's winning the cross-platform fight. Yeah, it kind of is, but again, it adds so many layers of complexity, and it adds so many layers of you losing, like, it adds so many layers of you losing the ability to be in control of your data, the ability to be in control of your identity, the ability of you being in control of what you can and can't access. So, and also the whole time it's spying on you, which is even worse. Make everything a desktop RSS reader. Yeah, basically. How's it going, Ashish? I don't know. I mean, if I sound crazy to you, that's fine. But this is what I want to see, and so that's what I'm building. Right? If you want to see something different, then you could build that. Not on that level of programming, but I got your idea. Unfortunately, it seems like utopia. It's not utopia. It exists. I'm building it right here. It's already right here. You're looking at it. This is what I'm doing. This is reaching out to a relay, and it's pulling down blocks, and that's it. It's fine. Like it already works. It already is a thing that works. I can polish it and make it look better. Hopefully, I'll continue to win hackathons and make money and stuff doing it, and then hopefully other people will realize this. We'll get some sort of thing going, and that's what we'll do. Thinking on my phone, I'm very reluctant to install new apps. The same goes for my desktop. But on the web, I can access as many apps as I want. That's also a factor. Yeah, you can. But if we create a new class of desktop app that's better, that's what people are going to want to use. And again, it doesn't matter that the stuff is on... it doesn't matter that these apps are on the web, because they can be on the web. For people who don't give a shit, it can be on the web. If you don't care that like you're beholden to a server, beholden to a domain name, beholden to a browser, and beholden to the database that's behind that, that's fine. You could do that. And the people who are even doing this, they can have their apps be on the web as well. But for people who want to get off of that, and they want to start actually using their local file system and all these kinds of things, we can get back to that. But yeah, all the tracking's insane. Exactly. You react. Fair enough. But it's the easiest way for me to build something. So I'm just you might say ooh, Pop OS, ooh, GNOME, ooh, whatever. But it's just is it going to help me achieve what I'm trying to do the fastest? I would even say ooh, Rust. I'm not even a big fan of Rust to be honest with you. And performance loss. You do lose performance too. Remember, you're limited by whatever the hell your browser can do. Whereas if you have a desktop app, you're not so limited. You can use different programming languages too in the backend. I have a Rust backend in this. So I can do things that a browser definitely cannot do. And I can interact with your file system at a much more intimate level as well. It's not crazy. It's just that I think everything moved to the web to bypass device performance issues. Low-cost device performance not... Yeah, right. So you can do heavy lifting on a server somewhere. But I mean, come on, I think we're past that. You know what I mean? I think at this point now, these web browsers, all this kind of stuff is built so inefficiently and such garbage. It doesn't. You can barely make the case for it anymore. I mean, computers are so incredibly powerful now. If we just had some good way to build desktop applications, I mean, they're going to run insanely more efficiently. Right. Damn it. Stupid thing. It liberated many people from being restricted to their device's power. Yeah, but again, I think there's a pendulum, right? In this case. And I'm not saying get rid of the web. I'm saying you still use the web, but be aware that other things exist and you might want to use the other thing. One thing I hate about native apps is vendor lock. If you want to be on Android, you go through Google, same for Apple. Yeah, but that's native apps on your phone. I said the pinnacle of computing sovereignty is on the desktop. That's where it is. And I don't expect tons of I don't expect a million normies to flow into this kind of thing. I expect people who care about this kind of stuff to show up. You know what I mean? And it usually is too that the people who care and show up, they usually make better content. Fair enough. It's just instruments, so no reason to argue about it. People are so funny. I know. Yeah, don't get caught up in the whole... I know people do it as a joke. right? But I think some people take it seriously. Some people don't do it as a joke. Some people are like actually like, if you're using some particular tool, and there's no reason not to use it. Like for instance, like I see VS Code as something like I have a principle for not using it, which is just like I think it's spying on me, but I don't really care in the other cases. I sound a little crazy saying that, but I mean, come on. Like they told you that, oh yeah, we're just gonna casually buy GitHub. No reason we're doing that. And then, oh yeah, we're going to train our AI, all of your open source code that you put on GitHub. Well, basically we own that now. Basically we're going to train an AI to, on all of your open source code. And you're not going to do shit about it because we have billions of dollars in lawyers. By the way, sometimes I can't install apps on the desktop, so a browser app helps. I'm not saying delete and remove all browser apps, but I think that most people can spare a couple megs on their hard disk. Maybe on desktop you're more free, so far at least, but who knows if that will remain the same. It better remain the same. Off topic, bro, but what do you think about PHP? I'm using Laravel as backend development and React as front end for web development. I don't know. At that point, I would just do, I don't know. I'm not sure. For instance, like I like the type safety that I get when I'm working with like Next.js across the front end and the back end when I'm building on the web. I don't like, unless you have some particular reason to use like another language, like it's just nice to just across the same stack just be using the same language in most cases. Like I don't know what like Laravel really like buys me, so I'm not like heavy on PHP, so I don't know. What are you doing today? We're building a desktop application for blogging. Every time I have to wait for like 15 seconds for a program to load, I'm thinking about how it could be instantaneous. Right. Do you have this idea on page somewhere? I don't see it on your blog, so. Yeah, my blog is like, it doesn't get enough love. I keep these ideas mostly in my head, and then when I rant and spurg about them on stream, that's when they actually get out. So will you put this project on GitHub? Of course I will. You're not owning a machine. Apple does. Yeah, I agree with that. The reason I own an Apple laptop though is because it allows me to like be mobile and not like the battery life is really nice on it and stuff. Again, I think we have to incrementally take things back though. Like for instance, like this is why I want to support like System 76 and Pop OS, right? Is because like, okay, they're building hardware, they're building a desktop experience, they're building a Linux distribution that potentially maybe like college students could use or something to like buy some, like to be able to like pull some demographic back from using like Mac OS and all these kinds of things, right? So I would like to support them so that eventually when their hardware become, and I'm using a lemur right now, like I'm using for this. I don't have my settings open. But yeah, I'm using Pop OS and I'm using a System 76 Lemur Pro, right? So like I want to support them because incrementally this is one way to win our stuff back, right? Which is like instead of like all this like window manager bullshit and all this other nonsense, like just rally around a company who is building hardware and building software and doing it at least somewhat more ethically, where they give you the ability to like at least, kind of get some of the spyware, potentially maybe out of your chip, because I know that they support like core boot and stuff like that. So instead of like all this like infighting and wars and like, oh, you're using Ubuntu, you're stupid, you're using Pop OS because you're a baby and dumb. It's like, instead of that, it's like, I don't know. Like I'm supporting them for a different reason. I would rather Linux be like accessible to people, and so they start using it. Have you tried Svelte? No, I haven't tried Svelte. I'm not using Apple because, as a machine, they're really good, especially M3 ones, but the stories when Apple do shit scares me. Yeah, Apple's a little tyrannical. Now, I get your point. Desktop offline support is great, and I like it. It's just I don't think it should be just desktop apps. I guess I joined in later and likely missed what you said about Web Plus desktop. Yeah, I'm not saying that we should I think we should just take some of the market share away from the web. See what I'm saying? Like, I would rather the web not be the first place everybody immediately thinks to go when they go to other social media sites and their favorite websites and their favorite applications. Like, I would like it if, you know, if I just had a video, like, sharing application locally, like, for instance, if I had YouTube and Twitter and a blogging app that I could open up locally, I would almost never open up my browser. Like, I'd rather my browser just be for, like, reading, like, documentation, you know? Yeah, so I got a new battery for the System 76. So I'm going to try to mostly stream from my System 76. Sometimes I may stream from the Mac too. But the Mac is good for when I'm like mobile. Like if I'm like want to go work at a cafe or if I want to go leave somewhere, then it's better to have my Mac to get my work done faster. And not burn a hole in my lap. Look, I'm not saying that the Lemur's perfect, but I'm saying for the right kind of person, it's probably fine. And for someone who is willing to make the trade-off, it's definitely fine. And there are people out there who are a little bit more ideological. So, and, you know, that's good. Hope you will write down your ideas and we will start the anarchy. Yeah. I know. Yeah, I'll write a manifesto. You can use YouTube in terminal, isn't there? Oh, I don't know. But even still, it's not like the accepted way. And I don't want to like, I don't want to like me just like some guy who's like a power user to be using like YouTube FZF in my terminal. I'd rather it be, and then maybe pulling it into like MPV locally or some bullshit like this. I'd rather there be a unified way of doing it locally to where like normal people, or at least your average, even just somewhat techie guy, sees that as a viable option and he would rather do it that way. I'll tell you right now, even me personally, I don't want to experience YouTube through some bullshit through my terminal and then like MPV or something like this. I don't want to do that. I'd rather use the web at this current point. So I need to ask myself, am I using something because I'm forcing myself to use it for like an ideological reason? Or am I using something because it's genuinely better and I would actually choose it? And that's where I want to get to. I like the Apple machines are quiet. Yeah, and cold. Quick question, are you using Bufferline in your config? Those are nice, simple looking tabs. No, those are Kitty tabs, actually. I don't use Bufferline. I keep my buffers, I look at them through Telescope, like if I have to look at them, which I almost never do. But typically I'll use Harpoon, and I'll switch between them with Harpoon. Anyway. Which my opinions have been shaped from mostly finding out about Nostr, thinking about the web for a while, and then talking to this other engineer about like his view on desktop apps. And then once I understood that, I was like, okay. And that's been like rattling around up in my head for a little bit, and I'm like, and now I feel like I'm actually like, I'm like, yeah. Like I actually like that's right. I think that's smart. But someone has to build it, so you know you just got to chug away actually building it. No, it wasn't the Primogen. How's it going, Liger? Spirited Away was a great movie, by the way. I'm just looking at your thing. I think that's a like weird creature from Spirited Away. So what was I doing? I'm sitting here ranting about what? Like, what am I even talking about? Where are we at? So the app, get rid of this junk here. Okay, we got our base path. Like if I get rid of that, is everything gonna break? Yeah, okay, good. That means that it works. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to need a blog page. So let's implement a blog page. So we'll say blog page. Like that. And then we'll open this up. And we'll go this. We'll say blog. And I actually have to go import this. RFC, blog page. There we go. So now what should happen is I'll click on it, and then I'll link to, I'll click on one of these, and then I'll link to a page where I'll get the markdown rendering of the blog. That's kind of the idea. Yeah, maybe I'll do a stream where I update my website. What do we think? I wrote it in Astro last time. I don't know. I might rewrite it in Astro again. I don't know if there's really anything I'd rather do with it. I should just upload the blogs, but I just feel like I've never really had like a good system for doing stuff on my site. I don't know. I gotta figure something out. I gotta figure something out where it actually makes me like enjoy working with my website, because I can't overcomplicate it. If I overcomplicate it, then it becomes not like a joy to work with. But if it's not complicated enough, then it won't be navigatable and usable. And a stream to write the manifesto together. I agree with that. We should write the desktop manifesto. Why am I not using events? Oh yeah, we're not using any of this shit. It's all gone. All gone. Yep, don't need any of this now here. Oh, whoops. Get out of here. And back, Chris, on your lib, do you have aliases for the event types, or is it still numbers? It's still numbers, and I think it should remain numbers, in my opinion. That's how we got Jaff's handling it in Nostr tools. Yep, it's going to take some time to get the control back, though. So just got to build everything and take some time to write the infrastructure and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, I think a good blogging app would be a good start, you know. And then also, the cool thing about using this protocol is you'll be able to post blogs directly from NeoVim or even VS Code or even Obsidian or whatever, right? Like you'll be able to just post blogs directly from that, and then you can just read them down into here. Yeah, there did used to be names in the older one, but I think he got away from that. And he actually released a 2.0 recently. All right, how long have I been streaming? Well, we still got a good amount of people here, so maybe we'll continue. Well, actually, I'm hungry, so I'm gonna eat. Anyway, if you guys want to support the stream, you know, super chats are a thing you guys can do, by the way, even though I read all the comments anyway. And also you can get a membership, and there's other ways. There's GitHub sponsors, all those kind of good things. My courses, maybe I'll start making videos again soon. Maybe I'll try to make a video today. Who knows? What else? Tomorrow I will we'll see how far I get. Maybe I'll work on this, maybe I won't. But tomorrow we'll work on a nice little header situation. We'll be able to click on blogs and open up like Markdown and stuff like that. We already got, look at this. We got some nice infinite scroll going, so that's very cool. And then we're going to have to eventually, you know, begin interfacing with the Rust backend so that we can save these files directly to your disk. So that's going to be another thing we're going to do. And maybe we'll build some other applications as well. I'm probably going to be streaming building a bounty site in addition to this, because that's something I'm building for another hackathon. So that will also be, sometimes I'll just be working on that as well. That probably won't be a desktop app right away, but that's because we depend on an extension currently. But that's why I would like to build that extension as a desktop app. So that way you can, you know, use Lightning or log in with Nostr and stuff like that on the desktop. But yeah. So let me see. With all the current ad block outrage and stuff, do you think we are taking a step towards control? Yeah, it's a nightmare. You got to get the hell out of there. We need to eject from the browser, like now. Sentry recently also wrote a blog post about removing ad cookies for the last 6 months. Yeah, but you're never really getting away from it. I mean, they have a profile on everything you've ever done on the web. So you're never, even if you're removing like cookies and there's GDPR laws and whatever else, like, look, man, like Palantir, they know. And they're saving all this shit. And they'll use it against you if they need to. Anyone will, right? Facebook, whatever it might be. There's a reason they collect all this data, and it's to make money and to do all these probably nefarious things. And, it doesn't need to be that way. Do you post somewhere about your hackathon submission? Would love to see your past submissions. Yeah, so one of the past submissions is like not that good. I've recently only really been getting into like front end development or really like total full stack development recently. But like some apps that I've built are, why am I not opening what I want to open? Is okay, so I'll show you a couple here. One that I built was BlogStack, which is similar to what I'm building right now. This uses Nostr in the back end, and so like, you got all this kind of stuff. I don't know if this was, So we have like blogs and things like that we can do here, right? And, again, this works with other apps that have the exact same data because we're just using relays. So like Habla.news has the exact same data as BlogStack does. So like, for instance, if I go through, maybe if I click on this, I need one that has like a natter. Maybe if I go to all. Yeah, if I go to all. And then if I go to like this one here, and then if I take this natter here, and then if I copy it, and then if I go to BlogStack, and then if I replace the natter, hopefully it should work. Might not. This was, again, I made this when I was not really that good at things. But anyway, what should have happened was that like should have opened. So instead of that, let's go the other direction. So I think it's because I'm only using a particular relay. But if I take this one here, gut feeling, should we listen to our body, right? This block. And then I go over here, and hopefully this works. Hopefully they've implemented better than me. And I paste that in. See? Gut feeling, should we listen to our body? So that thing is going to be on BlogStack and also Obla.news because we're just using the same data, and we're just relaying it around. So like now we don't have to be dependent on one particular website for your blog or anything like that. In addition to that, we can do things like another thing that I built, which is notebin.org. And Notebin is like a paste bin, but it's decentralized, so you can like paste like some code here and whatever, and then you can go and see what other people have pasted in the note archive. So people have pasted this kind of stuff, right? See? And so you can see like who this guy's following, and you can even zap him and send him money with Alpi. So like if I had this set up, I don't know if he has this thing going, but let me see if somebody else does. We had an error there. Again, this was built when I really was just learning, like completely, like had no clue. Maybe this guy. I know that we used to have a thing here, but even if, let's see if we go back to BlogStack. I would have to be logged in, probably. Yeah, that's probably it, actually. Start setup. Oh, yeah, I don't have my Nostr key on this computer yet. Anyway, there would be like a little thing here, and then you'd be able to send them money via the Lightning Network. That's the idea. Other apps that we built is Resolver.io. So this is like, without the E. This is like a bounty site on Nostr. So, like, for instance, you can get paid 80,000 sats if you do this. Right? So, as you know, Albi has quite a few useful tools, blah, blah, blah. So, if you write some stuff, if you do this, you will get paid 80,000 sats by the Albi team. Same with, like, Fiat Jaff has given out bounties and stuff like that to do different things. So, there is ways to make money here, and that's something we're working on for the hackathon currently. But if you notice, like, I don't have, like, this more button, like, just doesn't work. So that's why I wrote this library, so that you can get things like infinite scroll in the blog app here. So in the future, I'm going to update this so that we got some nice comfy infinite scroll like that. Or maybe even just a more button that works. What else have I built on this? I think that's about it. But I'm getting better at it now. So I expect the stuff that I build in the future to be much better than the stuff that exists here today, which I think is pretty amateur, to be quite honest. All the projects are on GitHub. I keep them under the Node Tech organization. So I wrote another thing. So if you go to nodetech.co, this is like my little organization here, which used to work. You used to be able to pay people with this button right here. So you could connect to WebLN and then like pay. But like again, for some reason it doesn't work anymore. I don't know why. But anyway, so you can see BlogStack. Oh, Hacker.news was another one. I don't know if I have that hooked up, but this was, oh yeah, never mind. Wait, NoStrings is another one. So NoStrings, this is going to be like my flagship, I think, which is NoStrings, which is similar to like Hacker News, right? But the nice thing is that since it's all using Nostr, watch this. So I can know when you put a blog type note in, I can know to link you to BlogStack, right? Or to Habla or whatever, right? I know that when you put a kind one note in, I can link you directly to a Nostr site that handles kind one notes, like a Twitter client. When you put a bounty in, I can link you over to Resolver and you can check out the bounty, right? And then you can do regular links too. Just a link to GitHub. And so also the way that this is going to work is all the upvotes and things like that, the votes are all going to be done with the Lightning Network. So it'll just be paid over Bitcoin and stuff like that. And then you can like support people with that kind of thing. I also have like logging and like all kind of set up with the Nostr extension. So that's something I'm going to have built out in the future. But yeah, you can see this one works better. I only load one at a time just because like this is all still like in beta. So like that's why I'm doing it that way. What else is there? I think that's really it. That's like kind of my fleet of applications that I've built over in 2023. I'm going to rewrite a lot of them, and I'm going to be moving some things to the desktop now that I am a much, much better front-end full-stack developer than I was when I started last year. And hopefully, they'll get some love and some attention, and I can put them in hackathons and stuff like that. Definitely continue to work on it. So basically, all the news from NoStrings can go to the site that serves Nostr. Well, basically, it doesn't even matter about the site. Like, I could just swap the site out in the future. So for instance, say unleash.chat goes down. Well, then that data's gone, and the site's gone, and you're beat. But if BlogStack goes down, what I can do as the guy who owns NoStrings is instead of linking you to BlogStack for this data and information, what I can do instead of that is I could just link you to, where's Habla? We'll do habla.news/a/ and then paste it. And then I could just link you to habla.news if BlogStack goes away. So now all those links are still going to exist even if someone takes down the website. That's the idea. So relays are servers, and you can get data from many servers, right? And so that's the thing too. We have all these different relays where we can just kind of post the data, and people. It's much harder to get censored. Anyway, yeah. So I figured, all the data is decentralized. Even the NoStrings site could go down, and then a different site, like the one he's building, Hacker.news, could use the same exact kind, and then it doesn't matter if NoStrings goes away. So this is why it's all really interesting to me personally. But, hey, we'll see where we go this year. This is what I'm going to be building all year long. And we'll see how good it gets. Anyway, I'm going to go eat. I'm hungry. So, again, if anyone wants to support me, you can go, YouTube memberships, GitHub sponsors, super chats, all that kind of good stuff. What else? I will try to stream tomorrow. We'll continue to work on desktop apps. I'll explain Nostr if people are interested. Obviously we're still going to be talking about like, NeoVim and Linux and all that kind of good stuff. But yeah. Damn, you really get pissed by Twitter. Yeah. Well, just in general, the whole way that it is. But anyway, yeah. So I'm going to get out of here. I will see you guys in the next stream. And yeah, just like the video. It's not hard. Like before you guys leave, like just like the video is very easy to like. Like where is it? I think I already liked it. Yeah, so you can just click 9. It can't be 9. It's ridiculous if it's 9. I was gonna say I'm gonna stop streaming if only 9 people liked it. But, all right, guys. I'll see you guys in the next stream.